Every broadcast engineer and content producer needs to connect equipment. Signals need to be routed and switched around your setting, whether it's a production facility, a playout center, a regional broadcast station, or an OB truck. In the baseband world, you'd simply run a coax cable from the playout server to the router, tell that router that, say, input 27 is the output of the server, and you're in business. Of course, there's a lot more to consider in the world of IP, but secure device management is the key building block for IP environments. So what's the solution? The challenge of IP connection management can be solved by deploying a solution comprising of a broadcast controller and network controller. But these are typically bespoke installations for enterprise-scale applications, and these are often supplied by different vendors, so integration issues are not uncommon. In fact, the European Broadcasting Union identified that there is a lack of viable solutions in this particular technology layer, as illustrated in their technology pyramid. This identifies 5 layers of IP broadcast technology and classifies them as green, orange, and red based on the availability of solutions in those layers. Pebble has developed a solution which is designed to address the lack of solutions in layers 3 and 4, configuration and monitoring, and operational control. Of course, the red layer, security, is paramount in IP networks, and some standards like NMOS security work are still being finalized. We saw the need for an IP connection management system which would enable users to make the leap to an all-IP facility without the need to deploy a bespoke enterprise solution and get caught up in all the configuration, consultation, and potentially large expense that involves. Pebble Control is a self-contained, scalable, easy-to-configure IP connection manager using web-based UIs. Designed to deliver immediate benefits to even the smallest IP facility, it interfaces with NMOS-enabled devices from multiple vendors and is easily reconfigurable for when interconnections change or when devices are added or removed. Starting with the architecture, Pebble Control is built on top of the .NET 5 framework, making it compatible with Windows, Linux, and Mac OS operating systems. In addition to running as a console application, it can run as a Windows service or a Linux container, which allows for a variety of deployment scenarios. For high availability deployments, it connects to the MongoDB distributed database and RabbitMQ message broker. Rather than having a traditional main backup layout, resilience in Pebble Control is achieved by having 2 or more modules of the same type work in parallel, distributing tasks between them. Therefore, should one of the modules go down for a reason, the others just continue running, resulting in 0 downtime or data loss in case of a single failure. Interoperability is key to ensuring maximum choice and flexibility for the user, and Pebble is committed to an open standards ethos. Pebble Control offers full support of the current NMOS specifications and will comply with all new NMOS standards as they're released. That includes all existing and future work on NMOS security like BCP-003 and IS-10. Pebble Control also adopts the latest security best practices for the application itself. Attribute-based permission management system ensures for maximum flexibility for different scenarios. Within the UI, attributes are assigned to users on one side and to system resources such as nodes, devices, inputs, outputs, logical containers, and logical views on the other side. Attribute matching determines which features are accessible to the user and which resources a user can interact with. This method covers both simple systems where user roles can be the only attribute and complex systems where a multiple set of attributes might be used. The NMOS data model provides a relatively flat structure within a device, and it's sometimes not even possible to match corresponding video and audio pairs or groups. NMOS BCP 002-01 introduced some grouping mechanisms, however with some limitations, and only for devices that support that specification. Pebble Control works around those limitations and allows the user to create the desired structure by introducing multiple levels of grouping on top of the physical device model. Furthermore, it allows creation of multiple logical models that can group sources and destinations across many devices for simple connection management. The user can model entire studios and control rooms, and have them connect with one button press that gets translated into many commands that are issued behind the scenes. Pebble Control provides configurable and easy-to-use connection management panels, allowing for control both of individual streams and complex containers. Multiple users can control the connections simultaneously, and switching can be immediate or with confirmation. Of course, only for connections between compatible sources and destinations, and for which they have the user rights. Filtering of the compatible and allowed resources happens automatically, and each user can customize the list of displayed resources. Button panels were traditionally controlled using proprietary protocols, but ANWR changed that by publishing ISO 7 Event and Tally specification. Pebble Control implements ISO 7 on its configurable button panels, which can not only send their states over this protocol, but also receive text and color information. Pebble Control also manages ISO 7 connections, like any other connection, and can also accept ISO 7 triggers for any connection management task. It can also provide background ISO 7-based logic for controlling groups of buttons as shown on screen, where all the text and colors on the screen come over ISO 7 from such a module. It also provides the trigger to connection management module, which then reconfigures the bottom row using ISO 5, based on rules configured in the application. With the first release having taken place in the spring of 2021, the latest release of Pebble Control adds integration with Video iPath, Nevion's orchestration and software-defined network control software. This integration enables Pebble Control customers to control SDNs, in addition to traditional IGMP-based networks that could already be controlled by the solution. Pebble Control can discover inputs and outputs in the Video iPath system and issue connection requests based on the user input. Pebble Control is a connection management solution that can run on systems of any scale, and its modular architecture will allow us to add more functionality like device parameter control in the coming months. As indicated, we'll also be adding any new open protocols as they emerge, and interfacing to other proprietary technologies in response to the market requirements. Pebble Control, IP connection management made simple.